everyone. We're going to be starting here as soon as Facebook comes online. We're going to go ahead and go into the title of this is the main cause of our pain, suffering, sadness, being upset, anger, grief, and even joy and happiness is question mark. All right, so here we go. They're ready to rock too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on today? This is your guy, DeMarcus. This is actually a morning mix. Congratulations, I did it. I finally got up. I know that, I haven't been around for a while. Actually, somebody asked me if everything was okay, and I'm going through some stuff. I'm not going to lie to you, but I still need to get up and get these mixes done. It's important to me. Other people actually say they watch them and they like them, so I need to start getting back to this for the exact purpose of it serves a purpose. It's not just something random on the internet. It's not something crazy or nasty. It has purpose, and I need to stop denying that this purpose is necessary in my life and in the lives of others. So we're going to go ahead and get started right off the bat. I'm actually a little frustrated today. You can't tell, but I'm a little frustrated. I should have been gone already. I drive for Uber. Some of you guys know that, and I was going to go get a morning shift in. I know that some of the schools are actually on spring break, so I was going to go out and start driving to the airport, but I don't have any gas. So I've been trying to find my dadgum wallet with all my cards in it, and I cannot find it. Now, the reason that's important is because of what this video is about today, and it's the aspect of what is the main thing that actually drives our anger, our sadness, our upsetness, our grief, our pain, our suffering. I don't know if I said that already. Being upset, being frustrated, even happiness and joy. What is the main thing that causes that? Anybody know? I'll give you a second to comment. Here we go. Nobody's commenting, but it's okay. So if you have an idea in your head, just kind of keep it in your head. So I want you to think about all the times that you've been upset or frustrated, maybe with your mate or your mom and your dad, maybe with your kids, especially with other humans, losing keys, not having enough money in your bank account, getting evicted from your house, losing your car getting broken into. All these things have an underlying tone, and the underlying tone is, that's a real, man, I wish I wrote that well. Expectations. The expectations that we put on life are what make us have a frustration moment, a sadness moment, a grief moment, a pain moment, or even a happy moment. Because think about this. The key word, or the root word in expectation is expect. Expectations. We set expectations on things that we want. So I can tell you for a fact that, I get mad sometimes when I'm in a relationship when something does not go the way I expect it to. I had to go, when I went to the side basic, which is the personal development seminar I went to, one of the things that they went into is that we have to let go of our expectations of what we expect somebody else to do. The perfect example is that they say that if you get mad over the dishes being done and you get home and because you asked your husband, you asked your kids to do the dishes and they don't do it, you had an expectation that they were going to do the dishes. And see, when they don't fulfill your expectations, you get angry. When your husband or wife is unfaithful, okay, and they're cheating around on you, and they're doing all these things behind your back, your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend are doing that, you get upset and you get hurt. Why? Because you expect them to treat you a certain way that you've deemed necessary. So the reason I say that is because imagine somebody who doesn't really care if somebody cheats on them or not, right? They don't care. And there's people out there who don't. If they don't have that expectation, they're not going to get upset if a person cheats on them. That was something that they deemed to be an expectation. When somebody passes, we expect them to be here longer with us. We expect them to be here forever with us. Even though we know that's not a possibility, we still get upset and we grieve because the expectation is that they're not here today. They're gone. Sorry, they're here today, but then all of a sudden they're gone tomorrow or gone later on. You get what I'm saying? But even joy and happiness, when you get that promotion that you've been expecting, you get happy. When someone breaks into your car, you're expecting your car to be the exact same way that you left it when you walked inside that night. But the expectation is that no one's going to break into your car. The expectation that somebody surprises you or somebody gives you something that you want. When you get something that you want or that you're expecting, you're happy. When things are on the outside, whenever your relationship isn't going right because, oh, he is not doing this, he is not doing that, what you're actually saying in all reality is that what you expected him to do, he's not doing for you. So the expectation of life is that the expectation in life will yield us negative and positive results, but mainly we keep them negative. We complain about so many things that somebody else isn't doing for us that we get pissed off when they don't do it because our expectations are ruined. It has nothing to do with the caliber of person that we're dealing with. It has nothing to do with the kind of things that we want. The kind of things that they want, but the expectation we want, it doesn't even matter what they want. Do you realize that? Your expectations of another person has nothing at all to do with who they are. It has everything to do with who you are. When you get mad at the dishes aren't being done, that is your expectation being broken. That is your expectation not being fulfilled. So you get angry. It's not the other way around. I don't get mad about the dishes until it gets to a certain point. So the idea behind it is that I have an expectation that the dishes be done at a certain point. And if they're not, then I get upset, right? But here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Other than the situation of somebody passing, here's the deal. All you have to do is that if you expect it, you have to complete it. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's use the dishes situation. If I get upset when the dishes hit a certain level, I have two options when they hit that level. One, I can do them and they're not at that level anymore. I've stepped up and I've actually helped my expectation not to be a negative one because I'm expecting it to be done. It's not done. I'm pissed, right? Well, what if I stepped up and did it? Well, I work all day and that doesn't matter because the thing is, the person who's not doing the dishes, whether it be your kids, your spouse, or whatever, they don't have that same expectation. They have other things they've got that's important. So if you have an expectation and you can solve it, then you solve it. Instead of complaining and pouting about it and crying and there's other words that are more negative that I almost said. I don't cuss anymore, you know that. Instead of using all that negative stuff and putting all that negative energy out and the pouting around, and he's like, yo, baby, what's wrong? Nothing. Or, you know, whatever you got that's upsetting you, instead of doing that, do the dishes. It's your expectation. It's not his. It's not hers. It's not theirs. It's your expectation, what you want done, right? So, if you can solve it, you solve it. Now, here's the other thing. If you can't solve it, then you have to let it go. It's a simple fix. We have to let go of our expectations that we put on things. We limit things when we put expectations on them. And we guarantee that we're going to have an emotional reaction when we don't receive what we expect. If you went in, let's say, for example, you go into a job, and you're at your job for about 20 years, and you're about to get this promotion, you're really excited about it, and you hear it? I'm setting it up right now. You're really excited about it, and everything's going, and they're bringing everybody into this meeting to introduce the new interim chief, somebody else. You immediately have a reaction to that. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You immediately have a reaction to that because it makes you feel some type of way. If you didn't care about it, like for example, the person who's new at the building, if they announce somebody new as the new lead manager, they're not going to be upset because they don't have the expectation that it was theirs yet. They haven't earned it. They know that. It's the expectation that we put on it, right? So once again, if that job is given to somebody else and you felt it should have been yours, then the expectation is you're going to get upset. If the dishes aren't done, then you're going to get upset. If your kids don't do their homework, you're going to be upset because the expectation is that they got to do this. So the only way to solve it is you either solve it yourself, pick up the brush and start washing dishes, and don't do it with a mean heart because you're not doing it that way. You're doing it to solve your expectations so you can take away the negative. Solve it with a positive nature. But it's that same job, if you would have got it, the expectation was so high, you're joyous. You see what I'm saying? Expectation is the cause of all anger, all sadness, all frustration. I expected to be able to find my wallet whenever I wanted, but I can't find it, so now I'm frustrated. My expectation was to find it and leave, but now I'm here, which is good because I had to do this video. I guess I had to get it out. But you have to understand, the emotion that comes behind expectation is a powerful one. Expectation has killed relationships. Expectation has made anger towards children and given them complexes because you're yelling at them for something they didn't do. Expectation has made people walk out of jobs because they're not treated. Now, don't get me wrong, expectation is great and bad. Because you walk out of a job because you expect them to treat you with respect, that's okay. But it's going to yield a positive result later on. Right now, you might be freaking out. That's okay. But expectation is the reason why we have so much frustration. So I want to read you a quote that I just happened to come by on Facebook today. It's by Cedric Harris, great guy. He's actually in a network marketing company. But the thing is, he does a lot of other things, right? And one of the things he posted on his wall today was, focusing too much on our expectations rather than our reality will close us off to opportunities that could yield us abundance. See, the thing is, we focus so much on what we expect in our world that we forget that our reality, and this is powerful, this might be a little longer video than I expected. Our reality is actually, and let me make this a little bit bigger because this is really important. We focus so much on our expectation that we forget the reality of where we are, right? So the difference is like expectation is this hasn't happened yet. We've just put energy towards something we want. The difference is the root word here in reality is real. If you're focusing your reality, what you're focusing on is you're focusing on what's actually in front of you. The reality of the situation is the dishes aren't done. The expectations that the dishes weren't done. That the dishes should have been done. See, the thing is, there's a difference. So this one has no dishes done. This one has, the reality is that the dishes are there. So this is kind of like neutral. But in all reality, if you take the time to do the dishes, then this reality is the dishes are now done. And your expectation that was a frowny face should be a happy face. But you're probably not happy because you were the one who had to do it. So get out of the expectation phase. It's okay to expect things, but don't put so much energy on it that whenever it doesn't happen, that you go to a place of negativity in one way, shape, or form. Instead, live in the reality. Live in the idea that the real in the reality is the biggest part. Right now is the biggest deal. If you don't get that promotion, it's okay. You can make it next time. If you decide you can't, then you leave. That's the reality. But putting the energy behind it of some kind of negativity just because you expected something different is not going to help you out. It's not going to solve your problem. So that's all I want to tell you guys. Remember, expectation creates sadness. Expectation creates frustration. I can tell you for a fact, expectation in my relationships, it drives me bonkers because I guess one of the things I've got to work on is I expect people to treat me a certain way. I expect people to protect my heart. I expect people not to do things that would make me feel a type of way. But that's the expectation I put on it. And I can't force anybody to do anything. They will do it when they're ready. That's the expectation. We have to let go of the expectation. The expectation that you're going to have a job tomorrow and you walk in and you don't is going to do something to you. The expectation that, your car is no longer there whenever you thought it was going to walk outside, it was going to be there. The expectation that you're a server or an Uber driver and you don't get a tip. I don't even get mad about that anymore. I just smile. I had an expectation. It was my expectation. They didn't tip me. That does not mean I get angry. What that means is that my expectation wasn't fulfilled. And if it's not fulfilled, it's okay. I can continue on. That's all I want you to think about. Stop expecting things and having a negative reaction when you don't get it. And live in the reality, and I promise you, life will get so much better for you. And I think this is going to be one of the videos. I get to speak to a class of kids at the end of October. I'm really excited about. And I think I'm going to actually do this expectation versus reality. I'm going to do that because I think that they need to know that. I wish somebody would have told me this at the beginning. I didn't tell you how to get through it, obviously, but knowing that what is actually upsetting you is the expectation, not the reality of the situation, is a pretty big deal. So look, focus in on your expectations, but don't put the negative on it. If something doesn't happen your way, it's okay. Life will go on, I promise you. And if life doesn't go on, then you won't remember that you were upset about it in the first place. But the reality of the situation is that there's real things in your life. Real pieces, real people, real ideas, real situations, real events that are going on. Get into the reality of it. Stay in the reality. And if you can stay in the reality, you realize that your life will be a much happier place. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate you being here, of course. I'm going to go try to find these cards because I have the expectations they're here, but the reality is they're not, so I have to keep looking. So I'm going to solve it instead of complaining about it. Or I just walk out the house without it, either one. But the reality is I don't have them right now. So that's all I have for you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Remember, I believe and I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being here today. And ladies and gentlemen, you have a great day. And enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.